Okay, now for those of you that don't know me, and I know many of you, but many of you are new faces to me. So hopefully we'll be friends after tonight. But for those of you that don't know me, my name is Debbie Barnett. I am the owner of MahjCon and the School of American Mahjong. I also run two Facebook groups, two Mahjong Facebook groups called Ask the Mahjong Teacher and the Mahjong Canasta Menagerie Market, along with my Facebook partner, Tina, the creator of Mah's Helping Hand Highlighters. So she and I run those two groups together and we assist each other handling those two groups. I've been playing Mahjong since I'm in my mid-20s. I'm going to let you try and do the math because I'll have a birthday this July. And I've been teaching since 2006. And to sum it up, actually, I love everything Mahjong and especially sharing my passion for the game with all of you and helping and teaching and all of that is my absolute passion. All right, so the attendance on Zoom, it's starting to slow up a little bit, which is fabulous because I could then start getting going. And we've got quite a few people watching from YouTube as well. So again, welcome everybody on Zoom and YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. All right, I'm going to share my screen after I get my presentation up and it's looking kind of pretty, hopefully. Close this out. And we'll do this. And as I said earlier, and I could do this one more quick time, grab your chat window, click on chat, move the window out of the way so that it's up on your screen. So you don't have to keep clicking on it and finding it. That way it's there. It's going to be your way to communicate with me tonight. I will do my very best to answer chat from Zoom and chat from YouTube. I'll be juggling it all on my huge 3 screens. But if I miss something, please don't hesitate to put it in there again. And I will keep an eye on it. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this opened up full screen before I share it. Oh, let's see where. Slideshow, okay, and from beginning. Perfect, all right. Now I gotta share my screen. And then I just need one person to give me a yay, but you won't know who everybody else is unless you're looking at the chat window to let me know that you can see my screen when I start sharing it. Can everybody see MahjCon presents Let's Get to Know the 2023 card? Yes, we've got success. Well, what do you know? Beautiful. All righty, that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna move you guys out of the way. Oh my God, you should see my screens. It's actually pretty funny, but all right. Move you guys out of the way here and we can get started. I still have a few people coming in, which is kind of crazy. All right. Okay. So one more time, quick review, one more time. Communication tonight is through chat. Grab your chat window, click on chat. You can move the window out anywhere you want it. And that way you could see what's going on. You could see other people's questions. I'm going to, once a question comes in, at the time a question comes in, I'm going to say the person's name and then repeat the question and then answer the question if you have any. All right, I've already given an introduction to myself, but for anybody who came in a little bit late and missed it, you could catch this on YouTube tomorrow and fill in the rest of the stuff. All right, so we're going to get started here. So I kind of liked this little quote here. Mahjong cards are like seasons. They are always changing. I thought that was kind of cute. And don't we get so excited when we get the new card and we're waiting for a new card? It's amazing. It's like we're getting the biggest gift in the world. It's probably the least inexpensive item that we can buy, and it's really cool. All righty. Okay, so I've already done an introduction, pretty much, but I want to go over the format of this. So I'm going to pretty much what I want to say is that I'm going to share things that some research that I did and things that I thought were pretty cool regarding the 2023 card. Then we're going to look at each panel of the 2023 card. I'm going to point out some things to you and go over some very interesting statistics that I came up with. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to give you some helpful tips. And then at the very end, we're going to head over to I Love Mahj, and we're going to practice learning the hand together through their exercise rooms. If you are not wanting to stay on after the presentation to do that, I'll understand. You know, if you decide to leave, that's fine. It may not be for everybody, but if you want to stay on and join me, I think it will be a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to be discussing the 2023 National Mahjong League card. And for any of you that have not received the card, I'm going to be sharing my screen with the card on my screen with permission from the National Mahjong League, who allows the use of the card for teaching purposes. And since I didn't mention earlier, I also wrote a book called Unlocking the Secrets of American Mahjong. And I know very well how they allow the use of the card, because they allowed me to use the card when I wrote the book, even in my book, because for teaching purposes, it is fine. What you don't want to do is obviously resell the card. And that's why I think, as I mentioned earlier, the mac and cheese recipe that goes around, and some of you may know it, some of you may not know it. People aren't, too concerned about sharing that until they get the card, because the biggest thing is not reproducing it and selling it or something like that. Of course, I'm sure you have all been aware of the fraudulent cards that are out there. And so I do want to just mention that if you have not gotten the card from a reputable organization that's doing a fundraiser for the National Mahjong League, because the National Mahjong League kicks back money to the fundraiser, or directly from the National Mahjong League, chances are you are sitting with a fraudulent Mahjong card in your hand. The other thing that I could mention that's a really big giveaway this year is this year's card is red. I mean, last year's card was red. So if you saw any cards out there that are still red, that's because these dummies out there that are doing this crazy fraudulent, I mean, it's unbelievable, copyright infringement galore, which we can't do anything about because they're not in this country anyway. So it would be like a losing battle. Again, you would seriously probably end up having a fraudulent card if you didn't get it from those two places, okay? Now, tips, suggestions during this live stream are based on my own research and my own opinion. So just so you know that there's like no like, okay, this is it. This is set in stone. This is the way it is. There might be people watching me tonight that's going to be doing their own kind of card analysis or however their format is. There's many, I've seen many different ones. I don't really, I mean, I watch those and pay attention, but as far as creating my own, I do my own thing. So anyway, here we have on the screen a chart, which I thought was pretty cool. As I was doing some of these things, it was just so much fun to see how it kind of played out with this pie chart. So we have here, if we start down with the very lowest percentage, we have same hands, different configuration, and different suits, 1.6%. Now, you know what is that on my screen? Do you guys see that? Or is that because I got the whiteboard on? I think I do, and I don't know how to turn that off. Let me see something. No, it didn't. It did. You see this? I don't have any idea how to stop that. Hold on. I don't even know what that is. Does anybody know? If you do, please let me write board. How do I get it turned off? Okay, Bruce just came in. How do I get that turned off? Let me just see if I could put this down and go into setting. I've never seen that. Okay. Well, if anybody knows where to go into Zoom, please let me know, because I have no idea how that got turned on. Let me see if anybody helps me out. I think you're writing with your mouse. I am, but obviously that's what I'm clicking with as well. Maybe if I use the enter key, it won't do that. Okay, anyway, you'll see this is so pretty now, right? All right, so 1% of the hands have a different configuration, the same exact hand, different configuration in different suits. So what does that mean exactly? Configuration means it is, you know, instead of like a pung in the front and then a kong, it could be a kong in the front and then a pung. That's what a different configuration means. Now we also have down here, I'm not going to click, 1.6% of the same hand with the same configuration in different suits. So those are the two smallest populations that are appearing on the 2023 card right now. All right, now same hands, different configurations entirely, 27%. Same hands, completely, everything, completely the same, identical, 12.7%. And then we have the same hand, different year, also 1.6%. So very small percentage with that. Brand new hands on this card for this year, not in the history of Mahjong, but this year, 55.6%. All right, let me see if I hit my enter button. Nope, it doesn't do it. So I'm going to click down here. All right. Ooh, so pretty. For anybody who just came in, I have something turned on in Zoom. I didn't know. Oh, it says at the top is a menu. Click on mouse and take off draw. Okay, let me do that really quick. At the top of the menu, let me see if I can go to the top of the menu here. Click on mouse. I don't see mouse up here. If anybody sees it, I don't see it. Draw, no. Settings in Zoom. Okay, settings in Zoom. Okay, let me see. Let me go to Zoom real quick. See if I can get that. I'm wondering if I have to, okay. Hide panel, floating, share, optimize meeting, mouse. No, I don't see mouse in here. And I bet I have to stop sharing to do that, to even find it. Annotation for others, hide names. It's not annotations, is it? Oh my goodness, I don't want to waste time on this, but I don't see it. I don't see mouse anywhere. Go back to where you just were and click on the arrow. Okay. This one here, is it in here? Try click more in the screen, share controls for these annotation settings. So right here, disable. Do you have whiteboard next to chat or share? Whiteboard, my goodness. I don't even see that. Disable annotations, hide names, unmute me. Okay, all right, I'm gonna unmute really quick. All right, Mark, hold on. Let me just do this because I don't want to waste too much time, but I don't. All right, let me just see if I don't mess around too much with it, it should be okay. All right, so anyway, let's go to this next chart I have up here because I don't want to take the time out of this to continue to do this, but it's really unshare and start over. Okay, let me do that. I see it's on it's going to be on every single screen. Okay, so give me 1 second, guys, and I appreciate your patience so much. I don't know how this thing came out. Okay, she said it's quick. All right, okay, I stopped sharing. All right, now I go to whiteboards. Nope, that's not it. Okay, where do I go, Margaret? I don't see anything else here on Zoom. At the bottom, click share again. Okay, I did. All right, now what? Close out whiteboard program. Where is whiteboard? Oh, okay, how do I close that out? How do I close that out? Literally start from the beginning. I did this. I did share. I mean, it's gone. All right, it's gone. Well, hopefully it won't come back. Okay, so this pie chart excludes singles and pairs. So there are 10.2% hands on the card with singles and pairs. Hands with quints, 3.1%. Hands with kongs, 13. Oh, I have to go back into the slideshow. Sorry. I am in the slideshow. You guys don't see me in the slideshow? Give me a thumbs up if you see me in the slideshow. Oh, slideshow here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. From current slide. Okay. Hands with quints, only 3.1%. Hands with singles, 15.3%. Hands that include pairs, 42.9%. Now, the hands with two pungs and two kongs, 15.3% of the hands, and those are considered the easiest hands, and we'll definitely be getting to discussing more of that as we go on. Thank you so much for your help with that. That was really weird. I've never had that happen. I do these live streams every week and I do these presentations. I have no idea how that happened. All right, well, learn something new every day. Cool. All right, so we have a chart here, and on the next page, we're going to look at some more interesting facts about this. But this chart shows that compared to this year's card to last year's card, I did some research. And I did this because, first of all, I love to know and get an idea before I even get started playing the card. Is this card harder than last year? Is it easier? Is it about the same? Because last year's card, I felt personally it was easier than some other years. But every year, obviously, things change. But this year, looking at the card, just looking at it told me that this card was going to be more challenging, which for me is cool, and I love that. So we're going to look at the next page, but I wanted to give a good big view of the numbers on here. And then we're going to go ahead and click into the next page here, where I have some statistics and how I came up with this assessment that the 2023 card will be a harder card to play. Hands down, for me, that is what I determined here. So the blue arrows are the similarities or very close to the same as the 2023 card. So here we have the top line, how many pair, and by the way, I do want to say something. I had a couple of people check these numbers over, but every time we checked them, sometimes we came up one up or down. If you want to challenge yourself to check any of this out, and you tell me or write to me and let me know that there is something that needs to be fixed, please do. I'm always open to making corrections. Okay, pairs of flowers. This year we've got 18 pairs of flowers, but we have no pungs of flowers whatsoever. In 2022, we had 12 pairs of flowers and 11 pungs of flowers. Okay, and we're going to go over this after I go through these numbers. We're going to go through these, which is how you can determine and pretty much tell why this is going to be a more challenging card. Kongs of flowers this year, there are 10. In 2022, there were 4. This was a complete tie. 36 hands with no flowers for both last year and this year. We had hands with pairs 19 this year, 11 last year. Hands with 2 pairs, crazy enough, 2022 had a little bit more in that area. Hands with 3 pairs was a tie. Now, this was interesting. Hands that had 4 pairs, 3 of them this year, and none last year. And I got curious, so I went back about 10 years, and I saw that in 2012, 13, and 15, there were 5 pairs included on 5 of the hands. And what I really found interesting about the 5 pairs, I didn't go back any more than 10 years ago, 10 or 11 years ago. What I found interesting about that was that the value of the hands with 5 pairs was 30 cents compared to 75 cents for singles and pairs. And there's only a couple of more pairs on the singles and pairs than the hands with 5 pairs. I mean, it's almost like playing a singles and pairs hand. So I found that quite interesting. All right, now we had hands with singles, a very close match at 15 to 14. Singles and pairs together and 10 to 7. So there's more this year. Hands with kongs, we had hands with 3 kongs, 13 to 7, 13 this year to 7 last year. Hands with 2 pungs and 2 kongs. And that's from the previous pie chart that you saw. I had marked easiest hands. So that is not too far apart. 15 this year, but there were 2 more last year. Number of pairs on the card, total number, 75 this year, only 64 last year. You probably are starting to see the pattern a little bit, or what I'm getting at here. Total number of pungs on the card, 83 versus 84 last year. Very close match here. And total number of Kongs on the card, another very telling thing, 109 to 89 concealed hands, still being 7 and 7. And by the way, they weren't always 7 and 7. Some years there were a lot more concealed hands in the past. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this, and how I came to this assessment pretty much shows it in the numbers. But in this first one, in 2022, we had 33% fewer hands with pairs of flowers. I mean, that in itself gives you an easier hand, having fewer pairs of flowers. Then in 2022, we had 11 pungs of flowers. Well, we all know that pungs are easier to make than Kongs because you only need to get 3 tiles instead of 4, right? Okay, so the next one is the Kongs of flowers. And that one, we had last year 60% fewer Kongs. So what does that tell you? Kongs are harder to make than pungs. So therefore, we've got more challenging situation on our hands this year. Now, hands with no flowers, again, we matched. And then with the 1 pair, 42% fewer hands in 2022 had 1 pair. 2022 ended up with a little bit more, but overall, it didn't bring all of the numbers down a whole lot, with 2 pairs. So they had more 2 pairs in 2022 than we have this year. But the 3 pairs matched. The 4 hands with 4 pairs. In 2023, we've got 3. Last year we had 0. That makes it even harder. So all of these elements are just kind of adding up to making our card this year a more challenging card. And I know you guys are up for it. Close match with singles in hands on both years. And then we had singles in pairs also. Oh, and by the way, just as a reminder, these statistics here do not include the singles and pairs section, because those are kind of in their own. They're already all singles and pairs. Hands with singles and pairs, 30% fewer hands with, this one is in the wrong position. 46% fewer hands with singles and pairs in 2022. And with 3 Kongs, this is just backwards here, 30% less in 2022. Again, those are all things that are telling, very telling. Now there was 13% more hands with 2 pungs and 2 Kongs. So that means, again, it tilts towards the 2022 card being a tad bit easier. And mine is a pretty close match, but it's still a little bit easier. In 2022, there were 15% less pairs on the card. Again, another element that makes this card more challenging than last year's. Close match with the number of pungs, total number. And this last one is also a very strong indication that the 2022 card was easier. 89 total Kongs on the card versus 109 this year. So all in all, I have my own personal assessment is that this card is going to be more challenging to play. Although I think that many of the hands are very switchable. So I think that's going to be great, because not all cards in the past have been that way. And during this research, again, I found 5 pairs in 2012, 13, and 15. I would love to do more extensive research back to the beginning of time. I'm working on trying to get all the cards from all the years I want to see how the patterns change, what hands have come back and when. So much more fun stuff that I want to do and be able to gather to present to you guys. I think it would be a really, really fun thing to do. All right, so let's move on. So these are just some things that I have here, some bullet points. I know that we have many experienced players as well as newer players here. But these are, did you know, bullet points. Did you know the cover panel of the card rotates each year from blue to red? And the reason I put a lot of these things in is these are things that I'm asked often, or that when I mention, the person says, I had no idea about that. Hands with 2 pungs and 2 kongs are really the easiest hands on the card to make. There are no singles to worry about. There are no pairs to worry about. You can use jokers galore if you're lucky enough to have them. So if you're a newer player and you're playing with other people socially, go for the ones with 2 pungs and 2 kongs. And they're all over the card. I mean, they are just spread all about until you start looking for them and picking them out, which I had to do when I had to come up with these calculations. I realized, wow, it's not just the ones that come back year to year, which is 3rd bullet point. 2 pungs and 2 kongs shown in 2, 4, 6, 8 category, the consecutive run, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 3, 6, 9 come back every year, but they alternate their configuration. So last year we had those hands as pung, kong, kong. That was how the groupings were. This year, it's pung, kong, pung, kong. And one of the things that, next year might be kong, pung, kong, pung. But that's one of the things that when we start using the new card, we have to be very aware of. We're so used to, after playing a full year, of knowing comfortably what those groupings were, that we now have to realize that it's no longer pung, pung, kong, kong. It's now pung, kong, pung, kong. So you kind of have to make that one of the many mantras that you'll have to use while playing and learning your new card, okay? Another thing, with more pairs of flowers, as we saw in the previous statistics, we're going to need to be aware of the increase in throwing a flower at the end, in the end game. So we're going to need to start paying close attention during the last wall. Last year with the pungs of flowers, a whole different ball game. I mean, I had so much fun with those pungs of flowers. I did a lot of joker bait. For anybody who, hopefully most of you know what that is, but I did a lot of joker bait with the pungs of flowers, and I didn't get rid of my flowers as quickly as I would, or pay attention as much as I needed to as I would this year with no pungs and all pairs. Different alert, different alert. Okay, the addition hand, the next bullet, and in order to include the addition hands this year, which are new to some, and probably many haven't even played an addition hand that are here tonight, they had to give up a year hand, 2 of the 2, 4, 6, 8 hands, and 1 any like numbers hand. And my last bullet here is that the addition hands might be simple math, but putting 3 sets of kongs is not as easy as it seems, because you're going to need jokers more than likely, because as we all know, if you're playing a kong, as soon as one of your tiles goes down that you're not able to call or not ready to call, I want to stress that pretty well there. As soon as one tile goes down, you have to add one more joker that's needed to your hand. So if for any reason you're playing an addition hand and 3 of those 4 pawns go out, one of those 3 kongs goes out on the table and you don't have any jokers yet, you already know that you need 3 jokers. It's not easy. I've been playing with the card for about a week now, and I'm really not having an easy time with those addition hands. And I know a lot of people are excited that they're back. I am too. I'm hopeful that I'll make them. All right, well, let's go here. Okay, oh, this is going to be a surprise, surprise for anybody who has not yet seen the card. And again, there were many people that came in late. I am allowed to show the card for teaching purposes. The National Mahjong League gave me permission. They gave me permission to use it in the book I wrote, and they give anybody who is teaching permission to share the card for that purpose. Just nobody take and copy it and resell it, okay, please. I don't want to be visiting anybody in jail anytime soon. All right, so we take a look at the 2023 left side panel of the card. Okay, 2023 makes me real happy. We now don't have a ton of 2s to deal with. I don't know if I played the 2022, I mean, I made all of them at least once. That was not one of my go-to categories. You know, I would love to get your opinion on how you felt about the 2022 categories. And I do have some questions, so I'm going to take a quick break, and I'm going to just look at these questions here because I just want to go and see what a couple of them said. Okay, somebody asked about joker bait. All right, so hold your question, write it down on a piece of paper. What is an addition hand? We're going to talk about that right now, but the joker bait thing, hold your question. We'll ask that at the end of the presentation. Addition hands should be more money. I agree. Addition hands is a brand new section on the card. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, many people will have never seen an additions hand category. Not only that, there were multiplication hands on previous cards, and sometimes even multiplication hands stuck in between kind of odd places, if you ask me. But nonetheless, these addition hands are brand new. Okay, so if anybody has anything interesting to say about the 2022 while we're talking about this panel, I see somebody, Paula said, hardly anybody in my group played the 2022 hands last year. I get it, 100%. They were not easy. All right, 2, 4, 8. Look, I don't see anything here that really pops out at me. However, I've never been a really big fan of 2, 4, 6, 8 when they have a lot more options. I'm cool with it. Of course, this third hand down is the Pung Kong new configuration of last year's Pung Kong. And so that is the easiest one on this, you know, in this section. But if you take a look, there's also another Pung Kong hand on this particular one, but it doesn't come back every year. But nonetheless, 2 Pungs and 2 Kongs are easier to make. So, you know, if you're going to shy away from the hands with the singles and the pairs, don't hesitate to try these. And even in 2023, line 1 has 2 Pungs and 2 Kongs, right? I mean, sometimes we don't really break apart the card as much as we should. These things will help us tremendously with not only learning the card, but knowing that, oh, there's some hands that are pretty pretty cool in that category. All right, let's look at any like numbers. All right, any like numbers. For those of you who are still new, any like numbers means that every single one of the groupings, the Kong, the pair, and the Kong, must all be the same number. You could pick any number you want from 1 to 9. They have to be identical. But I have here, beware of this second hand down, because this one stood out really like a sore thumb to me. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to admit one thing right now to you guys. I played this hand online and I had an invalid Mahjong. Does anybody know why I had an invalid Mahjong? You could put it in chat. I'm watching. I want to see if anybody can guess why I had an invalid Mahjong when I hit that last tile for Mahjong. Judy got it. She hit it right on the head with the nail. So Judy says the reason is because I had already exposed 3 of the groupings of 1s, and it's a concealed hand. My brain was still on the 2022 card where every one of the like numbers were exposed hands. But guess what? I tried it again and I won that hand 2 more times. It's not as hard as you think. 3 Kongs, 3 pungs, excuse me, and the 3 singles, amazing. I thought it was going to be harder than it looks. It's not, and it's a fun hand. All right, addition hands. What do I have here? These numbers only. Why did I put that? Because I've had a couple of people ask already about this. These, it does not say in the parentheses, any 3 suits, these numbers only. The league assumes that everybody's been playing since 1937. Just kidding. But nonetheless, there was plenty of room on there to put that. For those of us who have been playing for a long time and have seen these addition hands before, we know they have to be any 3 suits with these numbers. Somebody today actually commented on a sheet that I had created with just little tidbits of things, like this is one of them, the addition hands, and said, it doesn't say it has to be those numbers. Oh, okay, well, anyway, we'll deal with that later. But no, it has to be these numbers only. All right. Okay, so right now I'm going to take just a quick break and look at everybody and see if there's any questions that anybody has. Let's see. Has the ability to draw. Okay, yeah. All right, concealed. We got that on that hand in YouTube. Several people knew there too. Okay, so let's look. Oh yeah, that's a good point. So Carol said, and that's also on my fact sheet, which I did not mention tonight. And I was going to I'll probably put the link to the fact sheet in the YouTube description here. But this hand here, where it says any suit, pungs, any dragons, this has been another little bit of confusion because it should have been any 2 dragons. So these dragons have to be different. They can't be the same. You can't use green dragons, green dragons. You have to use different dragons. The 2023 can be any suit you want. So if you were to choose, let's say BAMs for the 2023, you can also use BAMs for this Pung grouping, and then you would use another dragon here. But you can't match those two, but any suit for the 2023. It could be a little confusing. Yeah, definitely. All right, let's see. I had another one. Somebody else said they did the same thing by exposing. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. This may be my go-to hands. Yeah, some of these are really good. All right, so let's see. No other numbers worked for the addition hands. For example, 5 plus 5 does not equal 10, 10, 10. That's cool. It equals 100,001. Is that, no, 11,110. I'm terrible with these math things. Okay. Only 14 tiles make, yes, I agree. She was just saying about how these numbers were working for what these numbers equaled. And if you go above, you're going to have more than a Kong for the solution. Ones, yes, you're right, Mark. 1 plus 6 equals 7. And that, was another thing I was kind of hoping they would have done for the addition hands. I'm not thrilled, and I think that's another reason that makes these harder than usual, is because you have two Kongs of like numbers. I very well enjoyed having addition hands where the Kongs were different. So that's a definite thing there. So for sure. Let's see if there's any more questions about that. Equals single digit number only. That wouldn't work if the sum equals a single digit number only. No, would not work. All right, so if we're good with this part of the card, or if anybody has any more suggestions that I missed or want to throw out there, feel free. Let's see, we got a couple of things. There are so many hands with 2, 4, 6, 8. Well, there's a lot less. There's 2 less hands this year than last year. So actually, it's never been my favorite category, but now with even less, I don't know, it may not be my favorite category again. All right, Grace says the addition hands are also heavy on evens. True. 2 plus 2 equals 4. Yeah, 2, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 4 plus 4 equals 8. They are heavy on evens, absolutely. So you may be able to keep an eye on some stuff going on in 2, 4, 6, 8 as well. All right, let's move on to the next panel. All right, the middle one here. One of the things that I do love is having an easier quint in the mix of things. Previous years, there were not always an easy one thrown in. Why is it easy? Because it's a quint hand that has a Pung and a Kong instead of 2 quints. Yeah, there's a pair there, but it's still considerably easier to make than a hand with 2 quints. What I'm not so keen about is I just think this is a boring selection of quint hands. Does anybody agree with me? We've got like numbers, and then we've got 2 runs. I would love to see them use 3 different sections, 3 different categories completely on the card. I honestly don't know why. I was hoping, because last year we had the same kind of boring 3 hands, but I'm not on that committee, so I can't make a decision about that. Yeah, so Carol agrees it is boring. Okay. And then Mark had also mentioned on that previous card that came in a little once I clicked out that you could use any dragon in the third hand. Yes, and I did mention that. Any dragon for the 2023. Any dragons for that particular hand. And if one of the other two pungs matches, it's fine because then you can use any two. It doesn't have to be any three suits, which is, again, a little confusing, that hand. All right, so let's take a look at the rest of this going on here. For the consecutive runs, there's always the pung pung, pung kong this year on line 2. This year we have a 1-suit option on the left side. We have a 2-suit option on the right side. And I love having the 1-suit option here. So that's really kind of cool for the consecutive run. But let's see if there's any other 2 pungs and 2 kongs. Well, yes, there are right here. This is line 6, 2 pungs and 2 kongs. Not bad. Makes it a little bit easier to play that hand. So keep an eye on that. I also kind of like this bottom concealed hand. I think that's pretty cool, but it does have the 4 pairs. So that's one of the hands with the 4 pairs this year. So that's going to be a bit challenging right there. I think way more than last year's, which was 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 configuration. And that hand I made quite a bit. I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, this one looks a little harder. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. We've got second hand with the pung kong for both the low end odds and the high end odds. Again, easy go-to hand. You know, if you're stressed and you're playing, you're new, try the easier hands, and then until you get more comfortable with things, and then you can go for the gold. Because I always encourage people to try and challenge themselves. Are there any more pung kongs in this section? No, there are not. So there's only 1 in here. But nonetheless, these hands they're nice. They're not that hard to make. I think they're all pretty even, Stephen. Maybe the 3 kongs are going to be a little bit more challenging, as they always are, but I like the combination here. Any questions about this portion of the card? There's nothing really other than that whole quint thing that I had to just get off my chest. I think we're good to go to the 3rd panel. All right, winds and dragons. All right, here's another one. A very dear friend of mine panicked the other night and sent me a picture of her hand on one of the online sites. And she said, why won't it let me call Mah Jongg? Okay, I know I got some smart cookies out there. Let me see somebody write in chat. Why do I say beware for this particular hand? I kind of got the hint here with the big box around. If I don't see anything in a little bit. Okay, yeah, okay. Last year it was 1, 2, 3. This year it is pair, kong. What would our brain say? Pair, pung. And this dear friend of mine sent me the picture, and she had exposed a pung, and then nothing else worked when she wanted to call Mah Jongg. Oh my goodness. All right, well, look, it's all a learning experience, right? We're all going to go through those pains. And I think I mentioned earlier, at least I hope I did, that with that hand, with the concealed like numbers hand, Did I mention it? I think I did. That I actually couldn't call Mah Jongg. Yes, I did mention it. Now that I'm talking about it, I remember. And that was like, oh my God, I'm still learning. Oh, there's still a lot of growth here in this world of Mah Jongg. All right, 369. Oh, and let's look to see if there's a pung pung kwong kwongs. Line 1, 2 pungs and 2 kongs. Love it. Line 3, 2 pungs and 2 kongs. Any others? Nope, but we got 2. Pretty good. Pretty good to have those 2 choices. Again, easier go-to hands when you've got 2 pungs and 2 kongs. 369, not much going on here. I like them. I love all the hands that are here. Not much difference. Of course, the 369, you know, we've omitted flowers from some of the bottom concealed hand this year and added more numbers into the kongs. I always like the 369. Carol said she also made that mistake for the first time. Oh my God. Anyway, yeah, I know it's kind of painful when you do that. And so I love 369 hands. I don't know about any of you guys out there. I've heard people say I don't like the 369 hands. I've always liked them. I think they're very, very flexible. And they're usually a category that I play quite often. But of course, you've got to go where the tiles lead you, right? We know that. All right, singles and pairs. A nice combination. I've got more things to share. Again, we're going to repeat the panels, so I don't want to go through too much here. But the only hand on this card on this section that is exactly identical to last year's is the 5th hand down, 1 through 7. The only hand in this section, and this was all data in the statistics that I shared with you, with a different configuration is the 2, 4, 6, 8 line 4. So same, different configuration. So yeah, new stuff is good. Another thing, that first hand for singles and pairs, I made almost all the hands on the card because I do that dot challenge. I did not make the 2022. Oh my God, I was wanting to do that so badly. And I don't count Siamese. If I'm playing Siamese, they don't count as dots on the card because, come on, you know, you've got double the number of tiles. That's really, it's so much easier to make every hand. But nonetheless, you know, these singles and pairs hands, that first one was a killer for me. The 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 with the 2 pairs. I could not make that hand, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried. Be really interesting to be able to kind of get people's statistics of, you know, of what hands they found were not so easy and which ones they were found easy. All right, so let's now go back to the first panel, the left-hand side of 2023. And I do have here noted that this any like numbers with the single dragons is quite an interesting hand. Somebody asked me what are dots, the dot challenge. Karen, if you stick around and write that question down, there's going to be a few questions that I won't take the time to answer right now, but I will definitely do it at the end of the presentation before we head over to do some exercises. Anyway, any like numbers, the second hand down, I found it to be an interesting hand. We already discussed it previously. Where? Because it is concealed. All right, now, there's a ton of switchable options. So I don't want you all to think that this is the do all end all. I just kind of went through and noticed what I thought were good options to keep your eye on. If you're a newer player, you're probably not keeping your eye on a lot of different categories all at one time. But as you get more comfortable with the game and you learn this year's card, I encourage you to do that. So that's why I have these here. So lines 1 and 2 are switchable to lines 3 and 6 of the consecutive run. So, and it goes the same. I'm going to have this repeated on the consecutive run panel, so I don't have to repeat it again. But basically what that means is it's another hand to keep an eye out for. If one doesn't work out for you, if all the soaps, you're playing this hand and all the soaps go out one after another, and yes, we do know how that happens, right? You're not getting a lot of jokers and all your soaps go out the door. And if you do have jokers, you need them for something else too. Oh my, keep your eye out on the consecutive run, line 3 and 6. We'll go to that and look at it. Consecutive run, lines 3 and 6. Consecutive run, line 3, here it is, and line 6, here it is. And why would it be easier to keep track of that one or have to switch? Because you've got 2 consecutive numbers with your 2s and 3s. So keep that open. And again, it's not just line 3 and 6, but those are the ones that popped out the most to me. And so, yes, there may be other consecutive run options that work out great. And, you know, that's great. You could switch over to those. All right, let's see. Here we have the concealed bottom 2023, leave option open for the Winds and Dragons line 7. We've got 2, we've got our news, and we've got our 2023 here. Let's take a quick look and see what we have here. News, and we have, keep an eye on line 4 of 2023. Wait a minute, let me go back really quick. Line 4, yeah, here it is right here. Keep an eye, this one here, we've got North and South in 2023. So if you are playing one of these hands, as I do quite often, if I'm getting a lot of wins, I keep a lot of wins. I keep a ton of wins, so I can keep my options open here or there. Well, if you do keep a ton of wins and something doesn't quite work out with this hand, maybe all the flowers went out, maybe somebody's exposed flowers and the rest of them have gone out on the discard field, then you have another option. So that's a good thing to keep an eye on, would be this. Again, there could be more switchable things. I'm just pointing out some that I noticed that popped out at me. This one here, switch to addition hands if using numbers 1 through 4. So if you're playing any like numbers, okay, you could easily segue into one of the addition hands if you had to switch out. Now, the second hand, especially if you don't get one of your singles or more than one of your singles and you watch them go out, you could always pop into the first hand if you wanted to, but maybe you're not getting flowers, or maybe, you know, things are just not going right. But anyway, keep an eye. Good switchable options there. And we also have this one here, switch to consecutive run, line 2. This one here. So let's go to consecutive run, line 2, and look at that. And that one we have, line 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you were playing this one, you have the option with the first and second hand to possibly do something with that run. Yes, you're missing pieces of it, but it's still just another option to keep an eye out for. You could even keep an eye out for 2468 with this one, but you know, not thrilled at that 100% based on what I see up in the 2468. All right, so this one we already discussed the switchables here, and this one here we'll talk about. We did not. But what I want to point out is that these groupings, the groupings for this top line, 1, 3, 5, 7, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 through 9, and the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 in one suit and two suits is exactly the same configuration this year. Most of the years that I've gone back so far, and again, I haven't gone back to the beginning of time, but my goal is to work on that project because there's so many things that I think would be so fabulous to do. They're normally not the same, and this year they are. 2 pairs sandwiching your pung, kong, pung in the middle. So there you have it. And let's see, line 1 of the quints, you could switch to like numbers. That's quite an obvious one. Line 2 and 3, you could switch easily to consecutive runs, lines 1, 2, 3, and 4. Any one of the lines in consecutive run right down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, any one of those, easy to switch into. And it could be more, again, it could be more, but the ones that are the most alike is what I'm kind of pointing out. All right, let's go here. All right, Winds and Dragons. We went through this one already. Keep your eye on line 4, 2023. Good switching options either way. Flip-flop switches, leaving this option open for the 2023 as well. So we've got a couple of those for line 4 to keep your eye on with Winds and Dragons. And the next thing I want to talk about is singles and pairs. Okay, this particular section of the card seems to be shied away from for many players. And if I had a group, not just beginner players, I'd also add their beginner players who learned Mahjong online during lockdown with COVID or after, who never learned in person, possibly learned in person, but never, you know, some instructors might shy new beginners away from the singles and pairs. I don't know. But I want to give kudos to my friend Donna, who I think is watching tonight, because she came up with a very clever idea that I'm going to start incorporating into my classes, which I think is so very cool. I can't take credit for it, okay? So first of all, did you know that the singles and pairs hands are all baby bits of the bigger hands? If you did not know it, you know it now. They are baby bits of all the bigger hands. Now, I didn't do this little cool thing that she told me about on every part of the card. I only did it on one section. If you did not see this here, and this sitting down like this, you probably wouldn't be as intimidated to try it as if the section, these singles and pairs have their very own section by themselves. So what I did was I added one just to show an example. But look, the first one is baby bits of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. The second one is baby bits of two consecutive runs, two consecutive numbers. The third one, baby bits of 3, 6, 9. The fourth one, baby bits of 2, 4, 6, 8. The fifth one, consecutive run. Baby bits of consecutive run. And then of course we have the big hand, which stands totally on its own. But last year, we know that it was sitting under the 2023 category. Got very confusing because that was not considered a standard hand under 2023. It was considered a singles and pairs, not in its rightful place. That was a little bit confusing. However, I say to you this, what do you have to lose if you are getting no jokers? You're dealt in no jokers, you aren't picking any jokers. What do you have to lose to try a singles and pairs hand? What's the worst that can happen? The hand goes dead. What do? You switch to the other category that this is baby bits of. Plain and simple, not challenging at all when it comes to trying it. Yes, challenging to make them, but when you do, it is so exciting. It really is. It's amazing how these wins on this card in the big monies, 25 cents that we earn when we make Mahjong is exciting. And I encourage everybody to play for money because it gives you more reason to play by the rules and much more. Okay, now let's go on to the next card. All right. So here are my very favorite hands so far. 2023 line 3. Any like numbers line 2. And quints line 2. Consecutive run line 6 and 7. And Winds and Dragons line 3. Now, it will be interesting to see as my dots fill in over the year how many, and you know, some people actually go even further to keeping track of how many times they make a hand. Oh, maybe I'll do that this year. I should create a chart so people can keep track of how many times they actually make their hands. That would be interesting statistics, I think. All right, so these are my favorites. All right, now, before I go on to play in the exercise room, I just want to go over very briefly, because this is not, tonight was all about the 2023 card, but I want to go over, oh, Marjorie keeps a journal. I want to just briefly show this. And this is the schedule for MahjCon 2023 taking place at the Villages, Florida. If you don't know about MahjCon, head over to MahjCon.com, read about it, peruse the website. It's got great stuff. It's got an encyclopedia of rules and strategies and more. It's got a player database, which is growing. And if you're not in the player database, that's a way to connect to other people and for them to connect to you. Hit the contact button in there and give me your city, state, and zip code, and I'll add you into that player database. Lots of you on here I know are not on there, but it's growing and people are connecting with people when they go on vacation or move. So please, please do. Anyway, here's the schedule, bird's eye view of it, okay? But I want you to take a look, and I have a special deal for anybody who has joined in tonight, that if you decide you would like to do a girlfriend or a partner trip with somebody for a getaway to come to one of the coolest cities in the entire country with lots of to do, not just in the city, but around the city, because there's Disney World and there's Cape Canaveral and there's more and more. I could go on, I don't want to spend it. But through April 6th, I'm offering 15% off using Zoom 15 off. Would love to see some of you guys there. We have some, it's a fun multi-day event for Mahjong enthusiasts of all levels. I'll get that out of the way right now. It's not just for beginners, it's not just for intermediates, and it's not just for advanced. We've got something for every level. All right, so I urge you to check that out. And follow me on Facebook if you aren't already. I am assuming you either got notice about this event either through Facebook or maybe it was just email list. But please follow me on the MahjCon Facebook group, and also head over to YouTube and subscribe to my Mahjong channel and click the bell. This way you'll get notifications when I post videos, and like when this one goes up and is available to be viewed as well. Instagram, please also, you could follow me on there if you're an Instagram person. Not everybody is. But anyway, so that's my take right now on the 2023 card. And the next thing we're going to be doing is again, I'm going to answer questions right now before we head over. We're going to be heading over to I Love Mahj. We're going to be having just some fun, doing some exercises and getting to know the 2023 card hands. And we've got plenty of time to do that. And I have plenty of time to answer questions. So let me see here what we've got in questions. Okay. Someone posted a chart to keep track of hands. Yes, I saw that, but did it have a way to keep track of how many times you make the hands? Is that also possible? I guess it could be. Like you could change it, because I think it was intended for the dots, but I could see using that chart and just doing it in pencil and changing it to 2 hands. You made it twice and then 3, etc. So I think that's cool. Marjorie says she keeps a journal of all her wins. And then I have I had what are dots? Oh, I had one other question before the what are dots. If that person is still on, could you please ask it again? But in the meantime, I'm going to answer what dots are. So you take the card, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but next to the hand, once you make it, you put a little dot with a pen or permanent black marker, whatever. And you do that all through the year. And the challenge is to see if you can make every single hand on the card. So that means for those of you that don't play singles and pairs, you're going to have to try those. All right, let's see what else we got here. We've got, I don't understand why hand number 2 from Laura under Winds and Dragons is so complicated. Hand number 2 under Winds and Dragons. Okay. It's not that it's so complicated, certainly. It's something that I put into that you need to pay attention to, because there's a pung, pung, kong, when you would naturally think it would be a pung, pung, a pair. I'm sorry, I think I messed that up. It's a pair, pair, kong. Your brain would say pair, pair, pung. So a pair, 2 pairs, and a pung is what you might be thinking it is when it's a kong. And so since I already know several people that have goofed up on that, I thought it was important to share that. All right, so now I got that question. Let me see what other questions I have. When you do the dots, you do Do you count when you win online? Oh, yes, online or in person. Absolutely. Why not? It's a win. It's a win. And let's see, we've got, would you repeat the answer 2023 Dragons? I think, is that the same one or is it a different one? I think I just answered that one. Please let me know if I did not. And still confused on third 2023 hand. Can you use any dragon? Oh, the third hand under 20, wait a minute, under third 2023 hand. Oh, third 2023 hand. Sorry, I was still in Winds and Dragons. Okay. Third 2023 hands. It says in parentheses, 2023 can be any suit. So start out with that and know that you can use cracks, dots, or BAMs to make that. They all have to be identical because you see one color there means one color. They got to be the same, all the same suit. But then it continues to say the Pungs any dragons. It would have been a little clearer if it said Pungs any 2 dragons, meaning you don't have to use a certain suit. And dragons do take on the persona of a suit that they match. So when they say Pungs any dragons, you could use the greens and the soaps or whites, however you refer to it. You could use greens and cracks and soaps. It doesn't matter. And again, 2023 can be whatever you want, even if one of the dragons match. I hope that's clear to you. Now, please explain Joker bait. Joker bait is really cool. So there's a couple of different ways you could do it. The most common way is to hold on to pairs that you either kept during the Charleston that you acquired that you're not going to use, or that you end up getting during the game, again, that you're not going to use. The idea of having that pair in your hand is that someone else may need those tiles. And during the game, if they throw one of the tile, if somebody throws one of the tiles, not you, but somebody else throws one of those tiles and somebody calls it and puts up jokers, then you have a tile to be able to do that joker swap with. So that's what joker bait is. I did it a lot with flowers, not just pairs last year, where I held on to flowers because with knowing that there were pungs of flowers, I knew that there are a lot of people playing flowers. And very often somebody called a pung and put up a joker, and yay, I had a chance to grab the joker. So that's what joker bait is. Let's see, what about, okay. So the tally of the hands, we got that. I'm going to continue down here to see if we have any more questions. Blah, blah, blah. If you have time, can you show the left panel and middle card? I was driving home during that time. Sure, I'll show that in a minute. PDF chart to keep marks, says the chart about keeping track of hands. Wonderful. Tally marks. Okay, those are tally marks. Yeah, tallying up your wins. That's great. And let's see, what else do we have? Chris says, I just want to thank you. I love your insights. Oh, thank you, Chris. That's sweet. Thank you. I enjoy doing this. Okay, Bonnie says, keep card low in screen, otherwise it disappears. Oh, keep the, like when I was showing you the dots. Oh, so like this? That show better? Maybe? I don't know. All right, I'm going to show it on the screen again, though. All right, let's see what else we've got here. I'll put the card back up. Please explain about the wall. What is the rule? Okay, I need more specifics when you say, please explain about the wall. Interesting fact that there are 30 threes on the card versus 20 in 2022. Love that fact. Love, love, love that fact. Yes. Okay, so let me go back and put the the cards up for you. I'll go to the beginning here. Okay, here's the 2023 left side for you to take a look at. All right, and now I'm going to go to the middle. We have the quince. I don't know if you're taking a picture or whatever, but I hope to give you enough time to do whatever you're doing. And here is the winds and dragons. Okay, we won't need the card either for the exercises, so that's going to be kind of cool. All right, let's see what else. We got somebody else had a question here. Marilyn says, for the addition hands, I believe you said that the card limits the hands to what is shown. No, no, that is not correct. Addition, oh, you're saying, I'm sorry, limits it to what is shown. Yes, on the addition hands. Yes. So you cannot change this up. You can only use these for hands exactly as they're shown. So no, you couldn't do a 5 + 1 = 6. No, no, unfortunately, no. All right, any more questions? I think not. I think the card has more. He says, it seems to me that overall, the same person asking, the card has more combinations with low numbered tiles, and there would be an advantage of less competition for higher numbers for those hands that say any run, etc. That's a very good point. Another great statistic. Completely. Okay, any more questions okay, so Carol's asked, is there any discount for single occupancy at MahjCon? Carol, hit me up after and we'll talk about how we can accomplish that. So yeah, hit me up and we can work something out. Then Judy says, card fact, the most prevalent Kong is 9s. I love that. Love it. Love, love, love that. Great. That's so interesting. And how many years when you say it's the most prevalent, Judy? Have you done like a research over many years, or tell me where the information came from? I'd love to know. Amy says, did I videotape this? My computer died and I lost the last 10 minutes. Yes, I did, Amy. I did videotape it. And it will be ready probably 24 hours after, because I do some editing to it before I get it up. I mean, it'll be up, but wait for the edited version. And this way I can also, put timestamps in, which makes it a lot nicer. All right, Garnett says, can you answer my question on concealed hand above with pairs? Okay. How far up, Garnett? Because otherwise I'm going to have you type it in again. I'm going there right now, seeing if I could find it. Otherwise, I think maybe oh, on a concealed hand, can you call for a dragon or flower for Mah Jongg? Absolutely, that is the exception to the rule for concealed hands. You can call if the last tile thrown is your Mah Jongg. Yes, 100%. All right, we got 2 more questions. I saw that, Garnett. I just answered it. How do I find this on YouTube? Okay, so my YouTube, you go to YouTube and actually I could show it to you here. Can you see this, YouTube? Just answer yes, anybody, if you could see the screen. because I brought it over. Yes, good. You go to YouTube, type in youtube.com, and then in the search box, you're going to type in MahjCon, and you'll get to my channel. And then there'll be a subscribe button and also a bell to click so that you follow, you get notifications, I should say, of when I go live and also when I post something. And I see few more people came into YouTube, and I'm just going to say hi, Sherry, hi, Jingles, and hello to everybody who's watching again from YouTube. Okay, not too many questions on YouTube though. All right, any more questions before we head over to do our exercises? Okay, we have, here, there's a couple more. 9 Kongs, Judy said, appeared in 20 possible hands. Last year, 2022, the 9 Kongs could be played in 16 different hands. Love it. Love it. Wow. Super. Great information. Paula says, do you have advanced video lessons? I do not have advanced video lessons. However, I do a lot of one-on-one strategy lessons at my school, online school, which is School of American Mahjong. You can always reach out to me through the MahjCon Facebook page and contact me, and I could talk to you about how those strategy lessons go, but I don't have them in video. There's a couple of reasons why I don't. One is that on my online school, you get to actually play and manipulate the tiles, and I get to come in and actually discuss and move tiles with you and manipulate things and make suggestions. Much easier than accomplishing that in a video. I mean, videos are good and you could do certain things, but because of the advanced level of being able to do it at my online school, I choose to do it that way. Not to say that I won't ever have any videos, but that's the case. Jokers in a pair, 0. I'm new. Can you call Mahjong with a joker and a pair? No jokers in singles or pairs. A single grouping is shown here on the screen. Second line, 2023. That's a single. Okay, news, 4th line down. That's a single. Okay, pairs, of course, are 2, like tiles. Second hand, 2, 4, 6, 8. The 2s are pairs. The 4 and 6 are singles. All right. I do welcome anybody who is interested in taking private lessons, advanced strategy, all of that good stuff that's going to help you grow your game, to contact me. Visit my school. It's called mahjongteacher.com. Visit the school, take a look at all the classes that are offered there, and consider doing it. Private lessons are like, seriously, sometimes like 8 lessons in groups. That's how much condensed information you get and how much you will learn and how it will change, especially for newer players who are kind of struggling with doing things and making the hands and what to pass in the Charleston and all of that. I definitely urge you to do that. Okay, any more questions? I think, oh, Judy's doing the verification of the possible hands on the 2023 card. Oh yeah, I usually do it too, and I have not had time to do it. I was 700 and something last year, right? Yeah, interesting. Hannah says, I have taken many private lessons from Debbie. She is the best teacher. Oh my God, I shouldn't be reading this out loud. I've improved so very much. I highly recommend. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate those very kind words. Okay, are we ready to hop over and get some practice in? Yes, we are. Okay. And I got to get my right screen up. Give me a second. Can't believe I've been having people coming in, going out, coming in. It's really late, but they're coming in late. Some people get confused with the time zones too, unfortunately. Somebody did suggest that when I put on my events flyers on Facebook, or not necessarily sending them an email, but to put the time zone in there, on there. So I'm going to do that next time. All right, so, whoops. ilovemahj.com. All right, now, I think I might have missed the screen on there on the PowerPoint, but let me just look here really quickly where that I Love Mahj pages. I don't know. Oh, here it is. Okay, so I Love Mahj is my favorite site to play on online. There's plenty of them and they're all good and everybody's got their favorite. And I'll just tell you once we get there why it's my favorite. But if you want to try it out for 3 weeks, you can use DB, my affiliate code, and get 3 weeks free and just try it out. If you're a newer player, even if you're one of those people that want to learn the hands on the cards quickly, this is a great place to do that. So we're going to go there now. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this again. And I can't believe that writing thing. That was like a little bit nuts. All right, so I'll go back here and open this up. Everybody see this, I hope. Thank you, Carol. Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. And here we go. This is the I Love Mahj site, and there's so much information on here. I mean, my God, you could read through this site and see so much good stuff, okay? There's a learning section here that's fabulous. The play section is where you do your playing and where you do your exercises. So it's the game launch pad. Yes, code is DB, Jan. And you go to game launchpad, and there's 2 sections of this screen. There is the play section and there's the exercise room. Well, let's talk about the play section before we go to the exercise room briefly. This site, unless somebody knows of another site that has it, has 3 levels of intelligence built into their bots. So if you play with the bots and you choose advanced, then you are playing against very tough competitors. And when I say tough, I am not saying that mildly. I mean, I have Wednesday night, some of you come on Wednesday night and I do skill building and we play game after game on this particular site. Sometimes, yeah, I make good decisions. I end up with great hands on call, but someone beats me to it. Those bots are tough. So I'm getting good competition because they're playing at a level like an advanced player would play, which is very, very cool. You want to play as a beginner with the lower level. That'll allow you to mahjong more often. I would encourage you start with that and then continue on. Okay, you can play with bots, like I said. You could also play with online players, or you can create your own personal table and invite your friends to join you at that table. Great. I do this option as much as I can. If not, I play with bots, because if I'm not playing on a certain day, I need to get my mahjong fix in. I know that some of you guys know what I'm talking about, right? All right, here's the exercise room. This is the coolest place in the world. All right, we're going to be working in make a hand, and what hand is that? We're not going to be doing Charleston practice. Charleston is another whole level of practice here, so it will take up a lot more time to go through the Charleston practice, but certainly come in and try it yourself. What it does is it lets you play through an entire Charleston, making choices, see what you end up with. If you have 3 tiles, or I mean, even, if you're like 3 tiles away from a hand, even 4 is not bad. You have made some great decisions during the Charleston. And what you get to do is play the same tiles over and make different choices. So it's pretty cool. So make a hand. Here we go. Look at the little scribbly that's there. Huh. All right. Here we go. Change the card. It's right now on 2022. So you need to drop down and change it to 2023. This starts with the entire card at the beginning of the left panel, first hand. This is very easy to do, but what it does is it helps you repeat it over and over again so that you are able to make these hands. They will become rote. And for me, and people that have come into my Wednesday night live stream, I always say this, so I sound like a broken record. I need to repeat things over and over again. When I was in school, I wrote my lessons out. That's how I studied. I wrote them out. Then the next day I might do that again, and I might do that again up until I had to take an exam. All right, so here we go. Line 1 of the card. You click on the tiles. You could throw jokers in if you want. Okay. You just click until you have made that hand. Whoops. Okay, I'm going to do this, by the way. I'm going to see what happens, and then we'll fix it. So I clicked on that, and I used the BAMs again for the 2s here, and then it has 3s, and I'm going to choose 3 dots. All right, now watch what happens. Ooh, boo-boo. All right, so what you're going to do is click try again, and if you double click on the tiles that were wrong, I believe is how you do it, or you flip them back up or something. It didn't work with the double clicking, but you move them back up, and then you take the tiles that are the right tiles. Okay, so we've got the pung of 2s, we've got the soaps with a joker, we've got pungs of 2s with a joker, and you can move them if you need to. Not always very user-friendly to move them, but you can move them so that you know what goes with what, and then you click validate and you get your congratulations. Now, you could try this, go through it once and then try it with different suit combinations, because there are so many variations. Matter of fact, I don't think I actually answered that question where somebody said the same. Oh no, that was, yes, I did. That was on the audition hand, so never mind. Okay, we're going to go to the next hand. We've got a pair of flowers. Let's see what happens here with this when we play this hand. And by the way, the next hand that we talked about, we're going to, actually, I put the wrong one up. It's supposed to be this one here. Okay, so 2, 0, 2, 3. We have joker, 2, 0, 2, 3, and then a Kong of 2 dots, and now we have a different color, so that means we need to use a different suit. So we need to use the 3 cracks, right? Now, if you guys think it's going to be a valid Mahjong, let me know. Put it in chat. Let me see. I know we still have a big crowd, so I can't take speakers off. Nope. Carol says nope. Look what happened. It's wrong. Try again. All right. Well, we can't use a joker in a flower. We can't use a joker in the single groupings of 2022. So pairs and single groupings, no, 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 no. So we need to grab the flower. Click on it. You can move it if you want. And we need to grab the 2. Bam. Now we have, as it shows, line 2, any 3 suits. Uh-oh, there's one more mistake. Be careful. We've now changed from 2022. I need a 3 bam. Okay, now we validate it. Congratulations, you are correct. I'm going to go through the next one. This is the one we talked about in during the Zoom presentation. All right, well, this is going to be a good example to show. All right, so we've got a Kong of flowers. We'll add a joker in there. Okay, I like to sandwich my jokers so you know where they go. Now, let's pick the 2023 first. Let's make that with cracks. Whoa, come on, mouse. Move, move, move over. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Now, you could make it with any of the 2 dragons, any 2 dragons. So it could be with soap, green, or red. So let's use red. And let's use green. And congratulations. So this could have been with soaps and greens or soaps and reds. It does not matter, but they have to be. The pungs must be different. Clear? Bye, Mark. Thanks for joining us tonight. It was really great to see you. All right, next hand. Line 4 of 2023. All right, let's do that one. Let's start out with cracks. And then we have soaps. I'll do this. Thank you, Judy, for stopping by. And we need the news, which are singles. And we need a pung of 2s, and it's showing a different color on here and on the card. That means we need to use a different suit. There we go. Pung of 2s, and we need a pair of 3s in the same suit because it is the same color. Unless something is changed or mentioned in parentheses, that's the way the card is read. Congratulations, got it right. Excellent. All right. And I'm going to keep track here because we got to do a few more of these, and then we're going to go to the other exercise. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, line 1. Let me see if I could get one that's confusing. I don't have to do this one, I don't think, or do I have to? If I just do this and do validate, I think it'll let me. No, it doesn't let me. All right. Oh, it worked with double click at that time. I was hoping I could like go through and not do the whole hand and jump to one of the more confusing hands that I thought might be eating, but nope. All right, we'll do a couple more of these. 4 flowers. And it's got 1 color. So whatever suit you choose has got to be all the same suit. A pung of, and bye, Linda. Thank you so much for coming tonight. So 2s, that won't work. Let's see what happens. 2, 4, 6, and if you were messed up with what you were thinking. Ooh, invalid. Try again. We got to double click and get those guys out. It needs to be one suit. 1, 2, 3, 4. What did I do wrong here? Oh, didn't take that out. So I need one more 8. All right, congratulations. Cool. All right, we'll play one more and then we'll go to the next exercise so that you can, because you can come in and do this all by yourself. And again, you can go through it more than once and choose different suits. Okay, here's another one with 3 suits, 3 colors. This one is a good one because this one says in parentheses on the card. If you don't have your card, I'll read it to you. It says any 3 suits. Obviously, there's 3 colors. And it says the Kongs, these 2s, can be any like even numbers. So that means they could be both Kongs of 2s, both Kongs of 4s, both Kongs of 6s, or both Kongs of 8s. So let's make it with starting with, let's start with cracks. 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 8. Now we need to pick our first Kong with whatever other suit is not a crack. Let's go with the dot. Whoops, screwed up with that. No, I did not. Because guess what? It says you could use any like numbers. But what if I were to do this, forgetting that they have to be the exact same? It's going to tell me it's invalid. So I have to give up either the 8s or the 6s, and I have to grab 8s in the 3rd suit, which would be Bam's. And now this is right. There we go. Congratulations. All right. So now I want to go into the other exercise, which is the what hand is that? And what this exercise does is it helps you to identify what your opponent is playing. So what you see here is your opponent's exposure. So for anybody that's still on, I still have about, let's see, 80 people from over 200 are with me still. And please put in chat what category and which line they could be playing. If you know it, no pressure, but if you know it or think you know it, jump on and go ahead and put it in to the chat window. Okay, I've got several people saying quince. Somebody said quince line 1. That is true. And then 2 people said quince line 1 and 3. Yes, it could be both. Beautiful. So what you do is you pick the category. That's the first thing you do. And then you select the hands that it could be. And it will go over here. And then you click validate. And you got both right. Now we'll play one where we don't click all the hands and you'll see what it does. Okay, here's another one. And I know we're at the top of the hour here, or at the top of the half hour, or the bottom, but that's okay. I could stick around for a little bit more if anybody wants to stick around. If I see everybody starts going off, then I'll know that it's probably time to call it a night. But I don't mind doing a few of these. These are a lot of fun. All right, so we have a Pung of East and a Kong of 6 cracks. Put into chat what you think it is. I'm not going to say it out loud yet until I see a few people put it in there. So, all right, so I have Winds and Dragons category, that is correct. Then I have somebody said Winds and Dragons line 2, and that is also correct. And Amy said as well, second line, Winds and Dragons. Beautiful. So now we are going to pick the category, Winds and Dragons, and we are going to do one that's wrong, one that's right. We're going to leave one out. So the right one, actually it's only one right one, so we'll do two. This one doesn't have multiple, so if you do two wrong, it's going to have a big X. This one, it won't work with this because it's only one hand. So the Pung of East is, trying to find it now, East, West, here we go. Nope, yep, that's it. All right, so here we go. And actually, this was one of the hands that we spoke about, because this would be a common mistake to make, is to put up a Pung of 3s instead of a Kong, because that's how I saw it when I first looked at it. And that's how a few people had looked at it. And Carol got them right on YouTube, both categories. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. And I know there's some new people that have come in late. We've already gone through the presentation, and now we're doing some exercises on I Love Mahj. Welcome anyway, but we're just about ready to wrap it up. So I hope your time zone didn't mess you up. Okay, so we're good. Validate, you get a check. Check, check, check. Let's do another hand. All right. Okay, so here we go. What could this be? Thank you, Bonnie. What could this one be? My watchers on YouTube, I know you guys are all very experienced players, so you could pitch in there. And then you guys, what do you think? What category and what line? I see consecutive run. That's good start. What about what line number? Count the line. Give me the line number. I see line number 3. Okay, somebody said line number 3 and 5. Okay, so line number 3, let's start out with that one, is one suit, because on the card it shows one suit. So this is showing 2 suits. So then you also said line number 5, which is correct. And Paula said addition hands. But remember, we went through the addition hands. Oh no, the addition hand line 1. I thought I saw somebody say line 2. You're right, addition hands line 1. Because line 1 is 3 suits. So let's start out and pick our categories. Addition hands, that was very, very good, by the way, to spot both of those. And out of the addition hands, we're talking about line 1, which has 3 suits. And we'll put that there. And I don't know if you could do 2 at a time, but I'm going to try that. Consecutive run, line number 5. Yeah, it does let me. Okay. Consecutive run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. And is it going to be the right side or the left side of that with the multiple suits? Going to be the other side, right? You got to watch that. And is there any other hand, consecutive line 3? I see that again, or was that an old one? Okay, addition hand, right? Okay, beautiful. All right, let's see what it says. Look at that. We got it all right. Wonderful exercise. This one and the first one to learn the card, strengthen your game. Let's do one more, and then we call it a night, okay? All right, here we go. We have a pung of threes. Sorry, a Kong of threes and a Kong of ones. What can we be playing? Let's see how many you get out of this one. You are so welcome, Jingles. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's see. Consecutive run line 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, which it could be 1 crack, 2 dot, 3 bam, correct? Okay, let's try that one too. Let's go ahead and grab it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. What else? Consecutive run 5B. Yep. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, third line. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, third line. All right, let's see. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 with the 3 third line right here. All right, what else can it be? Anything else? Okay, Carol got it right as well. Consecutive run 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Let me look at consecutive run 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the one we're in already. Okay, we got that one covered, Carol, already on the screen right here. All right, any more before I hit validate? Any more potential hands that this could be that we didn't discuss yet? Okay, I'm going to validate. Here we go. We got it right. If we were missing something, it would let you know. Okay, this was fun, and I wish I had more time to stay and do this. You guys can do this certainly on your own. Like I said, sign up, use the affiliate code DB. You can use it for 3 weeks. If you like it and continue, it's probably one of the cheapest investments you'll ever make, even if you're already playing on another site. I mean, I have subscriptions to a couple because some of my friends play on one and not the other, and so I switch off, but I like this one. All right, so I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here tonight. Hope you learned something new and you have a fun year learning the card and playing the card. And please consider joining me if you guys are new to come on Wednesday night to my Wednesday night live stream. The event is on Facebook in the events section, but you can also contact me through the MahjCon website, or you can contact me directly at my email, which is Debbie, DEBBIE @mahjcon.com. If you need any more information, but please, if you are a newer player and you want to have some strategic play, and I walk through all the hands, all my moves, the Charleston, everything I'm thinking. So you kind of like hear my brain thinking out loud. It's a lot of fun. Please consider joining on Wednesday night. And until then, everybody be safe, and I'll see you soon. Happy Mahjong, everybody. Good night. Good night. Good night. Jingles. Yes, I hope you're going to come. All righty.